Hi, this is Gil Cargill. Today I'm going to talk about one of the most important things a sales manager can do, specifically recruiting, hiring, and training sales superstars. The Wall Street Journal has published a study which indicates that the failure of bringing on board good salespeople will cost your company over $500,000. So this is why I've entitled this video, How to Avoid the $500,000 Hiring Mistake. You see, we tend to hire people that we like, and that's normal. But unfortunately, too many entrepreneurs hire salespeople based on their wish to fill out a holiday gift list. In other words, you're hiring people that you like, not necessarily people that you know can, and more importantly, will do the job. In the next few minutes, I'm going to step you through a process that I call sales simulation interviewing. In a sales simulation interview, you're essentially showing the candidate the requirement to prove that they can sell the way they claim they sell. Let's face it, you probably have interviewed hundreds of people. All of them claim they made $100,000 last year until you implement the first step of the sales simulation interviewing process. Specifically, I want you to check their W-2s. You see, there are many salespeople that are very good at getting hired, but they're not as good as selling the products or services that their employer offers. These salespeople will come to you, put on a very good interview, present a polished resume, and get hired. You see, the reason they're so good at getting hired is that they've been fired so many times from previous employers. I want you to avoid this by verifying all of their claims. The first claim is they made $100,000 last year. That's easy to verify if you demand that they bring in their last 3 years' W-2s. Now, when you look at the W-2, make sure you ask the question regarding how they got paid. For instance, a $100,000 W-2 doesn't mean that that salesperson generated $100,000 worth of commissions. Part of that W-2 could be their salary. So let's separate salary from variable income. And then when you look at the variable income, I want you to make sure that they earn that variable income utilizing skills, tactics, and strategies that are appropriate for your business. For instance, if you need new accounts, if the job of this new salesperson, it can be summed up as being a hunter, but their variable income at previous companies came from pre-existing accounts that purchased on a recurring basis, you'll probably run into trouble when you ask that salesperson to get out and start hunting. I also want you to examine how they've behaved outside of the sales world. And I always ask a question at the beginning of every interview which focuses on their aggression. You see, competitive, aggressive people are natural-born hunters. And we have started competing for something as early as second or third grade. So the next thing I want you to verify is to ask them, when did they start competing? And the way I phrase that is to ask them, well, based on the facts that you're in sales, I have to assume you're a competitive person. Help me understand, when was the first time in your life that you can recall competing for something? What was it that you contested? How did you do? And most importantly, how did it make you feel? You see, the way the results make that salesperson feel tell you a ton about their competitiveness. As Leo Durocher said, a good loser is a loser. And if you're hiring people that take losing and winning academically, they probably won't have the passion required to be a good, aggressive, consistent, and productive hunter. The next thing that we do in a sales simulation interviewing process is ask the sales candidate whether or not they can give you a presentation without any prompting. If you stop and think about it, their current employer probably has some sort of a presentation that they've done allegedly hundreds, perhaps thousands of times. Well, it's eminently fair for you to ask that candidate to show you their selling skills by giving you a presentation of their current product. If they hem and haw, if they stutter, or worse, if they tell you how they do it, take that as an indication that they aren't a sales professional, that they aren't what they claim they are. They may be good at visiting, but they aren't good at selling. A good sales pro must be able to give you an off-the-cuff selling presentation that starts with asking you questions about how you may apply their product or service. If they fail to do that, you probably have someone who isn't working for you. Now, the next thing I want you to check is their honesty. And I do that by asking them, what did they think about my website? Now, that seems like an innocuous question, but I'm here to tell you I am shocked at the number of people that never check out the website of a prospective employer. And that's behavior that is contra to the goals of good, profitable selling. If they don't check your website out before a first interview, then odds are they won't check out your prospects' websites. Then they'll go in and behave like a peddler, not like a partner, and peddlers never win the day. So be very sensitive to that and always check as to whether or not they actually looked at your website. I make sure that all candidates have an opportunity while they're in my office to write an email to me telling me why I should hire them. Now, this email exercise is extremely important in today's electronic world where much of the sales communications that occurs is actually done via email. I want it done in the office, not at home, because I want to verify that they know how to send email, that they know how to use spell check and grammar check, and that they can sell and be persuasive utilizing the written word. Those are requirements for success, in my opinion, in today's world. I also want them to write a 100-day sales plan. Now, this sales plan is literally their commitment to themselves of what they'll do their first 100 days of employment with your organization. If they come back with a very superficial plan, that tells you a lot about how they'll operate once they're on board. What I'm looking for in those plans is thoughtfulness, planfulness, dates, timetables, accountabilities, and a view of the salesperson actually saying, I'm responsible for my success. And then the secret sauce to this entire process is the audition. The men and women that I like after I've taken them through pre-employment test, after I've had 1 or 2, maybe 3 face-to-face interviews, the men and women that I like, I will invite back to the office to give me a prepared presentation. Give them 3 or 4 days to prepare a presentation about your company, your product, or your service. It must be about your company. And then invite them in and have them give that presentation to you and any other stakeholders involved in your business. If the presentation meets or exceeds your expectations, you probably have a winner. If not, you've had a demonstration of how they'll sell when they're out working with your customers. Don't make the mistake of hiring a guy or gal that you like. Make sure that you walk through this entire sales simulation interviewing process to confirm that you're on course and that you are actually bringing on board the very best salespeople possible. Now, as a special offer for you, I will be happy to send you an ebook without charge that details some of the methods that I've described briefly in this video. This ebook explains the questions to ask, provides you with my scorecards, and gives you literally most of what you need to be prepared to bring on sales superstars. Good luck and good selling.